Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's class, we are going to talk about a very emerging field in the law, that is the cyber and technology laws. So what type of laws are applicable in India when we talk about cyber and technology? The primary law to deal with the cyber offenses and cyber crimes in India and other cyber activities is the Information Technology Act 2000. In this video, we are going to have a basic introduction about what is the IT Act 2000, what are its objectives, what are its applicability, and what are the cases where this act is not applicable. So let's get started. In the first slide, we are going to have a basic introduction on the inception of the IT Act 2000. This act was notified in year 2000 on October 17th. It is based upon the Unilateral Model Law on the Cyber Laws. Unilateral Model Law is a standard laws which are being formulated and being accepted worldwide by many countries. On the basis of these unilateral model laws, many countries have adopted and made their own cyber laws. India was the 12th country to adopt this unilateral model law, and on the basis of this India has made its IT Act 2000. So let's see that what are the objectives and how this act came into force and what are its main applicabilities. So let's talk about the objectives of the IT Act. There are certain 5 to 6 important objectives that one person must be aware about while studying this IT Act 2000. First one, it grants a legal recognition to all the transactions that are being done via electronic mode or electronic transactions. Secondly, it gives the recognition to the e-commerce. So today we have Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra and other e-commerce giants. So how do we regulate all those e-commerce giants? So for that, it is one of the objectives of the IT Act to give them recognize and then regulate those e-commerce giants. Secondly, it gives recognition to the digital signatures and the method of signing the documents digitally. How do we make a digital signature? How do we sign a document digitally? All those things have been discussed in the IT Act 2000. Thirdly, it facilitates the electronic filing of the documents with the government and other departments. So let's say if you want to file a document in MCA, now you can do that through online mode. And how do we do that? This particular thing is being recognized under the IT Act 2000. Fourthly, if we talk about, there is a facility of the electronic storage of data. If you must be aware about the DigiLocker. DigiLocker is an initiative of the government where you can electronic store all your important documents. Other than this, there are certain legal recognitions that are being given to the banks for their transactions that are being done online. So these are few important objectives of this particular act on which basis all the terms and conditions are being defined in it. So moving forwards, let's see that what are the applicability of this act. As we have seen, generally once an act comes into force, it applies to the India except the state of Jammu Kashmir. However, this IT Act 2000 is applicable across the India as well as it has its applicability outside India as well. So if a transaction is being done outside India using a computer resource in India, that person will be liable under this IT Act of 2000. So this act is not only applicable in India, but it is also applicable outside India. But what is the problem that we are facing in this particular act? That why we are not able to implement it on the international level? So there is a lack of international cooperation, and that is the only limitation, that while we have given the opportunity in this particular act that we can take action against the offenses which are committed outside India, but since there is a lack of international cooperation with other countries in this particular regards, so there are certain drawbacks and setbacks that we face, but that is being dealt with in the recent past as well. So now the most important part is the non-applicability of the act. there are certain things and certain documents on which IT Act is still not applicable. So I'll list a few down for you. First is the execution of the negotiable instruments under the Negotiable Instrument Act, except for the checks. If we talk about negotiable instruments, we have promissory notes, bills of exchange, checks that are being recognized as three major negotiable instruments under the Negotiable Instruments Act. Out of those three, checks have been given an exception under the IT Act, and checks have now been recognized for the electronic payments. But if we talk about promissory notes and bills of exchange, they are still not covered under the IT Act. Similarly, if we talk about power of attorney, we talk about trust document, trust deed, we talk about will, or we talk about any sale agreement where there is a transfer of property from one person to another. In all those cases, this act is not applicable. The reason why this act is not applicable on those transactions is that because these documents require authentication only by handwritten signatures. Moreover, they require some special attestation and registrations. Otherwise, if we talk about all other transactions and all other methods of communication and transaction, all those do not require special attestation and signing. That is why they are covered under this IT Act. However, these are the few exceptions to it. All right, everyone. I hope you have gotten basic idea of the IT Act 2000. Thank you so much for the patience listening. All the best. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you.